Question for tonight. Does image matter? Well, we are going to find out tonight on Unstuck, the Road to Reinvention. I'm Lisa Kneller, your host, and I am a Reinvention life coach. What I do is I help women flourish through the use of positive psychology, self-coaching, and transformative conversation. And you can find out more about me at lisanellercoaching.com. And if you are interested in figuring out how to reinvent yourself, just put an R in the comment box. So whether you are watching live or whether you are watching this recording, go ahead and let me know if you're interested in learning about how you can start the reinvention process. So tonight, my guest is Clarisse Ringwald. She is the owner and CEO of Clarisse Creations, an Arizona-based image consulting business providing in-person and online styling services. Clarisse is a licensed fashion master working with individual and group clients. As a master facilitator, she teaches other women and men art of wardrobe styling. Clarisse is a frequent author for Fashion Feng Shui International. I'm hearing some funny noises on here. Are you familiar?
Yes, I am. You're kind of going out.
Yeah, I think next time we're going to have to use headphones. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to continue.
Okay.
Clarisse is also a certified essential colors consultant. She reveals today's, not decades ago, colors for women and men, providing a personalized, mind-blowing palette of colors to wear in clothing and makeup. Her signature program, 3 Steps to Gorgeous, The Only Way It Works, is a transformative styling package which aligns color, restores image, and creates style. The jaw-dropping results help her clients shop better, dress well, and spend less. Yay. So Clarisse was not always an image consultant, as you might guess, since many of us transform over the years and we do different things at different times. But I met her through some networking events in the Phoenix area, and I ran into her at a book signing, which happened to be at a very good friend of mine's house, because she was featured in the book, Who Am I Now?, which was written by last week's guest, Isabel Banerjee. Well, I am delighted that Clarisse agreed to be on my show because I think she can really help us understand how image can speak volumes about who we are and how we feel about ourselves. She talks about walking into a room and grabbing some attention. So, Clarisse, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you directly as well as your audience.
So glad you're here. So you have really inspired me. I've seen you on several occasions. You always look amazing, and I'm excited for you to tell us your story. So we're going to get started. I always want someone to share their reinvention stories, and I know you have reinvented yourself over the years a few times. So please just share that story with us.
I'd be happy to. I came out of my kitchen from being a certified yoga instructor to corporate. And what happened with that is I was a stay-at-home mom. This was in the late 70s. So this was before yoga really got popular. I had a natural kitchen. My neighbors thought, this woman's a little bit on the woo-woo side. But I taught yoga, and I was very active in the yoga community. And what happened is I was humiliated over something I wore. And this, I had leotards and tights. I knew nothing about styling or makeup or hair or any of that stuff. So I really took it to heart. I was humiliated and I was choking back the tears at this event. And I decided that maybe I should do something about it. This came on the heels of a medical emergency with my daughter where I had to go and get full-time work. So I went back to school for a year because to get job ready, I didn't really have any working office skills. So I went to Scottsdale Community. I had a huge grade point average, and they sent me to a law firm for a job interview. Now, when I went on the interview, I went in a skirt and a blouse. I didn't own a suit. I got the job, and I was going to work downtown in Phoenix for my work. So I borrowed the money from my mother to go see a personal stylist because I didn't have any clothes. So a friend told me that I needed to align my colors with my clothing. In fact, she said, wouldn't you want to buy all your clothes in colors that look great on you if you're going to make this big investment? So I said, yeah, that made sense. So I didn't have the money, so I borrowed the money. And I went to Bullock's and I met with this woman who did this transformation on me that was unbelievable. So I got color draped. She gave me information about what clothes would best fit my frame, how to pair the clothes. She took me down to the makeup counter and helped me buy the correct makeup. And we also talked about hairstyling, because when I showed up, my hair was heavily frosted, and she looked at me when I walked in the door and she said, you're going to have to get rid of that hair because it's diametrically opposed to your skin tone. So you're going to have to go back to your natural color. So with all this information under my belt, she gave me a personalized package of colors, and I started on my journey. I did get my hair toned dark. I took out the blonde highlights. I got some more information about how to apply makeup. And these were fundamentally the skills that formed my business that I have today. The next transformation that came was...
Well, wait, let me just interrupt you for 1 second to ask you, did people notice the change in you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Especially because, you know, I had no clothing, and I went to a lot of clothing that looked good on me because I had these colors. So I would run to all these stores and I would take the color and go right up to the fabric and the style. And I knew that I needed to create a waistline. I'm very short-waisted, but I do have a curvy figure in a small frame. So I knew about that. So I made better choices. I had the packet of colors, so that was a no-brainer. And then I bought better clothing that looked better on me than something that was trendy. I started to buy really classic clothing. I knew that if I'm going to make the investment, I want it to last. And then I got the idea that I needed to pair it. If I was going to buy something and it was quality, I needed to use it 3 different ways in the clothing that I had. So that's how I started to do my own capsule wardrobe. So yes, it was huge, especially the hair color. The hair color was a great improvement.
Okay.
So the next transformation was I was a senior paralegal. I worked in law firms for 31 years. I worked for medium-sized law firms, large law firms, and I worked in the corporate law department at Motorola, where I managed 19 remediation sites. I was their person at the table. I was traveling a lot, which was a great experience. But you know, at the end of that, I was styling people that I worked with. Like, other paralegals and secretaries would come in my office and they would ask me to go to their homes and start pairing clothing or modernize their wardrobes. And I also had the opportunity to take some of the clients shopping, either to get ready for depositions and or trial. I had 8 years in construction law, and then the remainder was in tort law and environmental law. So some of those people, some of the clients that, you know, worked in construction mainly, they needed some help with a little bit of styling. What I learned in trial practice is that the jury, as soon as we walk in the room, the judgment is made. And I was in a practice when a lot of the law TV programs were very popular. LA Law, Boston Legal, and people, I think, figure that we get all that work done in an hour, where it takes months and months and months. But yeah, there's a distinct first impression done with jury trials for sure. So the next transformation, which was very, very personal, is I've been married and divorced 4 times. And when I got into the fashion feng shui part of it, and I learned a lot about energies, and I transformed, I've done a lot of 9-star key work. I've done a lot of feng shui work in my office and areas. And I realized what was the mistake that I was making. I mean, it was devastating to me. That's not an easy thing to do. And I realized that I'm always selecting an energetic man. So when I'm down and depressed after a loss of a relationship, I tend to gravitate towards earth men. Earth men are very nurturing. They're very caring. They're very accommodating. They're very pleasing. They love to be like the fathers and wrap you up in a warm blanket. But when I start to feel better and I turn into who I am, and I'm metal water. So my primary energy is metal, where I'm extremely organized, almost to an OCD level. And the water part of it is the creative part, my creative side, but it's very independent, and freedom is very key to me. So when I feel better about myself, all of a sudden the guy would say, well, where's the girl that I married? And that girl has gotten better and felt better about herself and really turned back into my own. So this was such a huge revelation for me personally. So I know through a series of questionnaires when I work with people, if they want to have more fun in their life or they're looking for a love interest while I'm stylizing them, I can help them get to a place and who to look for by how those people show up, because it's really about our energies that are innate to us. We're just that way. We're born with them. So I help people that way, although that's not my main thing, but if they ask me, I can help them. So that's my story kind of in a nutshell.
That's fascinating. So you were a paralegal for 31 years. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I just got to tell people, I love, I got to tell people you're 75 because look at you, you're just amazing. And I asked you honestly, like, would you be okay with that?
Yeah,
and you're proud of your age, and I love that. And you look so much younger, but I really think it's because you do carry this beautiful energy, and you just take care of yourself. I know that self-care is probably one of your main things. So let's talk about image.
Yes.
Does it really matter, Clarisse? And like, when does it matter?
Image really matters, because when you walk into a room, a judgment is made. And now, during this time where everyone is pivoting their businesses or teams on Zoom or WebEx or all the online, even FaceTime, everybody's showing up and it's all visual. We no longer take conference calls on a cell phone or a landline. We get on a screen. So image is more important today than it ever was. And the thing is, I was doing some reading because I've done some Zoom information about how you appear and how to activate your audience on Zoom. That's one of my blogs. But I read today that in screenshots, people make a deciding factor in 1/10 of a second. As soon as they look at you, they judge you for trustworthiness, attractiveness, and how dominating you are. Now, this is critical as to what's going on, because I personally feel when I did legal work, I could come in on the back end with a key fob. I didn't need to be in the office, although they preferred that I was there. But now with all of this Zoom activity and, social distancing, I can see a lot of office space going to be given up. So now the online platforms are going to be so important. So it's really about how you show up. It's about your background. It's about what you wear. If you have a green screen, are you using a logo for your business or your corporation business? And, that's what I teach, and I'm pivoting to do that. But image, if you think this is too above you or too beneath you, think again, because how much money are you willing to spend to do it on your own? So, for an hour or two consultation with me or someone who is like me, it's so worthwhile, because I can tell you how to make the best of backgrounds behind you and how you look. Do you need a ring light? I always have a ring light because I do a lot of consultations on Zoom. So it's really about showing up. And don't you want to feel better about your clothes? I mean, really, I do this thing with wardrobe wellness. And if you look good, you feel good. And if you love everything in your wardrobe, you've got it, it's a no-brainer to get dressed. And so that's what image consultants do. That's what we help people with.
Yeah, I think particularly women, and I'm not going to say not men, but I think particularly women feel much better when they've got some pretty clothes on and some makeup, and it just
Right.
affects your mood. It affects your mood. It affects your energy. And, weirdly, I've been working from home the last few months, and so I'm not doing the makeup as much or the hair, wearing my yoga pants all day long, that kind of thing. My husband said tonight, it must be your show night because you don't really get this pretty for me. I said, well, sometimes I do.
Yeah, true. I mean, we're all there. I mean, I think I've let my skin breathe more the last 3 months than I have, because I wear makeup when I go out or I'm working, but typically I'm not getting dressed up every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about color. So how does color make a difference, not only in how we look, but how we feel?
Okay, well, there's a whole thing about personality related to colors, but your personal color is all based on your skin tone and eye color. If you wear your exact eye color, you will block out your competition, because your whites of your eyes get really white and people are attracted to your eyes and they'll listen to everything you say. So if you know what your skin tone is, if you warm, cool, or neutral, and you know what type of hues of color to wear, you will always look great. And that's what I do. Color is so important to how we show up. It's also where you place color. The eye goes to the lightest, the brightest, or the warmest color. So you want it on the top half of your body and not the bottom half. You do not want people to stay stuck on the bottom half of your body. So I teach people how to, pair their wardrobe, how they show up, what they wear. The best effect is wearing opposites of your color wheel. So, you can wear cobalt blues, or the Pantone color of the year, classic blue, with yellow pants or yellow jeans or a yellow skirt, and, use the jewelry and makeup to enhance how you look. So when I do a color analysis styling, which I only do in person, I do not do that online, but because there's too many variables about light color and wall color and everything else, and photos. But this is the most important. If you just know what colors look good on you, and I'm talking about today's colors, like as we age, our skin tone gets more sallow. So the colors that look good on us when we were 20, 30, 40, and 50 might not look that great on us when we're 60 and 70. So it's about colors. What are your optimal colors? What looks best on you now as compared to before? So that's what I do with that. And color analysis is really important. Along with that, I also do a body style, because if I'm going to give you your colors, I need to tell you how to wear them and what your body shape is. So the whole part of my align color, restore image, create style, the restore image part is the fit. If you know the color and the fit, you're 99% of your way there, because so much clothing online is made for a rectangle body, which means there's no waist. It's completely straight up and down. For someone like me, who I do have a waist, I need to accentuate the waist, or for women who have, larger breasts or larger bottoms, vice versa, they need to know what kind of clothing they need to buy in order to best enhance their body shape. All of the clothing online is made for the rectangle body. So if you are ordering online, be prepared that, you know, you may need to alter that or create something other to shape your body, your particular body. You know how when you go into a mall and there's this big clip behind the garment, they're creating a waist on that garment, but basically it's a shift dress. So you need to be aware of what they do so that you can get the better clothing. People that do Stitch Fix or the online or even the Amazon stylist, if they work with me and I give them a better profile, they change their profile to get better clothing. So
that is very interesting. And I would like to know how you evolved into the fashion Feng Shui and what that's all about, because actually I've heard of Feng Shui for your environment, but I didn't know how it like went along with what you're doing with your image.
Okay, I do for the wardrobe and the person, which is their most intimate environment, is their closet. I do for them what a Feng Shui practitioner does for the home. So I work with the person through a series of questions, and I find out what their primary and their influencing personas or their energy or their preferences. And I help them create a style using those parts of their preferences. So for me, I'm a metal water. So my style strategy is creatively elegant. And I show up like that 24/7. And I also help people set an intention for their clothing, which is basically getting more of what you want out of life. But how this all evolved is when I opened my business and I became involved with image. I joined the Association of Image Consultants International, and I learned about fashion feng shui through a webinar that they give every month. They give a free webinar for training. And that's how I first learned about it. And I think because of my yoga background, it just spoke volumes to me, because I thought, well, of course, that's the only way it can work. If I stylize you knowing who you are and what your preferences are, I can better stylize you shopping, because I'm going to shop with your eye, not mine. So I teach people then how to get, how to shop for clothing using those energies, their body shape, their colors, and their intention. And we call those fusions. So it's kind of really technical and it's really woo-woo, but that's the reason why I'm pivoting the business to 3 steps to gorgeous, because it's easier to understand in that concept, even though I'm still doing their color, doing their fit, and then creating their style using the wardrobe wellness wheel from Fashion Feng Shui. I knew that once I became a facilitator, I would automatically go to master. And so I became a facilitator in 2014. I became a master in 2016, which allows me to teach for them, which I help other women recertify because they've given up their licenses. Or I can train someone to be a facilitator, online, person to person, and it's a wonderful new career for a lot of people that are interested in style.
Well, that is another interesting reinvention for you. And I understand you are actually going to be on the faculty, or you are on the faculty of Isabel's new company, right? Her education company. So, and what will you be doing there? Teaching what you're doing now, or?
I'm not quite sure. That's still in the process, and in the I've given some classes online about how to build a capsule wardrobe for the beginner. I have talked about how to create a style for yourself. So we may evolve some of that work into the teaching on Isabel's website. So it's just a lot, I can teach them how to be a facilitator if there's enough interest in that. But basically, I'd like to enhance people with their colors and with their styling and give them the tools they need to do it themselves.
Gotcha. Okay. And I think it's a fun way to reinvent yourself is to have your personality examined, your energy, your colors, all of that, just kind of really get a fun new package that you can just go out with, and Also, a lot of people are doing what I'm doing as far as this online video stuff, and I think it's important to present well as you're doing this kind of thing. So many more people are picking this up, so I think you have another market there. But what advice would you give to women who are considering a change in life, whether it's a career change or just wanting to do something different?
Well, that old adage about doing what you love and the money will follow, that actually is true. I will tell you that, I have a dilemma about being a certified document preparer for the Supreme Court of Arizona, or opening up my business. And I'm so glad that I did what I really love to do, because it opened up a lot of venues for me and a lot of avenues to make some money. So if you have an interest, if you have a passion, examine your heart as to what your passion might be and find out how you pursue that. Do you need credentialing? Is it creative? Can you paint? Can you write a book? Whatever it is, examine what your heart is. Because, we spend a lot of time in our first careers. 31 years was a long time. I didn't want to do that in my retirement years. So I'm so happy that I pursued what I did, because it makes me feel whole and joyful, and I have fun, and I meet a lot of interesting people. So if you have a passion deep down in your heart, examine it and go for it. The world is your oyster, really. You can do whatever you want.
It's so true. And this happened to me too late in life. I'm a yoga teacher as well, and I've been teaching for almost 20 years. And it's hard to make money as a yoga teacher unless you're full-time and traveling and doing workshops and all the things, all yoga. So I did find life coaching a little bit later in life, but I too am so glad that I have pursued that. And it's a process that I like to tell people, excuse me, that if you do make a change, if you want to reinvent yourself and do something different, that expect that there's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, right?
Exactly. By all means. Someone told me at the beginning, I won't share her name, but I met her like 2 weeks after I opened up my business. And she said it takes about 3 years. And I went, really? It takes about 3 years. Almost to the day, it took 3 years.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so Clarisse, let's talk again about specifically about what programs you offer your potential clients and where they can find you. So,
okay, well, my potential clients are women in transition, women or men, typically. Someone who opens up their wardrobe and it's all gray, black, and white. They don't know how to pair their wardrobe together. They know nothing about putting together clothing in a fast, efficient way. Those are my target clients. Someone who's lost a lot of weight and is going to buy a whole, new wardrobe. My signature program is 3 Steps to Gorgeous, the only way it works, which is align colors, restores image, creates style. I do a lot of Zoom styling now. I do a lot of Zoom workshops now. People just need to contact me and let me figure out, what is your need? And I'll design something exactly for what you need at this point in your life. They can find me on my website, which is ClarisseColorCreations.com. I'm on Google. I'm on Pinterest. And you can call, right on my website is my phone number. So I also give a 30-minute free consultation to discuss what your needs are and, what you're looking to accomplish with your wardrobe and your styling. So also, I do a monthly styling newsletter, and they can text, just a minute, 22828 to Color Creations, and they can just get the form to sign up for the newsletter and the blog. I have a lot of information on my website, and I have a lot of information contained within my blogs. So, just go on and glean whatever you need. And if you need some additional help, please give me a call. I'd love to work with you.
Okay, so we're going to repeat this. It's ClarisseColorCreations.com is your website. And then, and so you can find a lot of information there on her blog. And then the number to get on your newsletter is, what's that number again?
It's if you text 22828. Let me put my glasses on so I'm getting that right. Okay. 22828 color creations, and you'll get an automatic sign up.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Clarisse, thank you so much for joining me tonight, I should say. It's just me in my kitchen. But I am delighted that you decided to spend the time with me. I've had fun coordinating with you. And so go visit Clarisse if you would like to reinvent yourself through changing your image, or just, I call it like up-leveling your image.
Exactly. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, and then also, consider if you need some self-coaching tips, if you want to reinvent yourself from the ground up. That's really my specialty, is mind management and that kind of thing, really overcoming limiting beliefs. You can find me at lisanellercoaching.com. You can message me in Facebook if you want a complimentary session with me. But I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week and Wednesday night at 7 with another guest. And you all have a great night and happy week.
Thank you, Lisa. I loved it. It was great.
Thank you so much, Clarisse.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.